Let's just jump right into it. Today's title is Kobe versus the Bleacher Report and Tim Duncan. Now, again, this whole Kobe smear campaign has been created by the media. It's LeBron James. Everybody that has any type of basketball IQ or knows anything about basketball, they know that LeBron James is not number two all time. It's all propaganda. Slandering other great players is a way to prop LeBron James up because he's going to retire. So think about it from his perspective. All this work I've done, and people are still saying I'm not the GOAT. So that means in order for him to be the GOAT when he retires, because he can't add to his basketball legacy, he's going to have to tear other players down. That's what this whole campaign is about. We know that people like Gilbert Arenas with Clutch Sports, Draymond Green with Clutch Sports, Jeff Teague with Clutch Sports, and I imagine a host of other players are with Clutch Sports. What they've done is all these NBA players that are popping up with podcasts, they're all working for LeBron. This whole podcast phenomenon of players having podcasts is all done by LeBron James. You notice they all praise LeBron. They can't tell you what they praise about him, but they all praise him. They can't praise his footwork. They can't praise his ball handling. They can't praise his shooting. They can't praise his skill set. They love praising his passing. I'd argue that one fancy pass a game doesn't equate as you being a great passer. Most of LeBron James passes are just passes somebody's wide open. Anyway, and if you go to Angry Old Hoops fan, he'll show you where a lot of LeBron James stats are fake. He breaks it down. He'll show you where LeBron can pass the ball at half court. They dribble to the basket and he gets the assist. A lot of LeBron James stats are inflated and they literally change the game so that he could be successful. Now, many people always say, why y'all always talk about LeBron? Because LeBron James is causing all of this commotion. It's him. It's him controlling the media. They want him to be the poster child of basketball because he's filled with excuses. They want him to be the face because he's weak. He doesn't want to compete. He has excuses. He's probably on performance enhancers. He does everything to water down and destroy a sport. But the main reason they want him to be the face is he's not a competitor. And this new global regime doesn't want men to be competitors. They want men to be weak. This is where society is moving to where they're feminizing the man. So one day they'll get on TV and say a man is a woman, and everybody will clap their hands. But anyway, so that's who's behind all of this. But let's and then you can see in this picture when LeBron James led the team, they got a bronze. Kobe led the team, they got a gold. I'm gonna say it again. When LeBron James led the Olympic team, they got bronze. When Kobe came back, 2012, they got gold. But let's go to the Bleacher Report. Kobe Bryant, NBA Player of the Decade. Now, I want you all to use your common sense. The NBA has been around 79 years. If Kobe Bryant was the Player of the Decade, according to Bleacher Report, that means out of 79 years, he was the player for 10 years. So let's divide it up. So that means out of 79 years, we potentially have 8 players that were players of the decade. I don't care what 8 players you pick, it's 8 players. But we can also agree that if Kobe is arguably one of the 8 best players, then how in the world is he not in the top 10? If he's a player of a decade in 79 years of the NBA, he's a player of one decade. That automatically puts him in the top 8 players that ever played. Let's see what Bleacher Report said in the past. 2008, TNT is announcing their all-decade selections, including their pick for Player of the Decade. There is no question that this distinction belongs to Kobe Bryant. 2025, for most of his career, Kobe Bryant was wearing the NBA's best player. No, I'm sorry. For most of his career, Kobe wasn't wearing the NBA's best player championship belt. Now, same people, same company, Bleacher Report, but two different looks from 2018 and 2025. Now, he had been retired, so his career has been cemented. So it's just funny to me that it took, 7 years for Bleacher Report to change their mind. But you got to think, it doesn't make any sense. How can Kobe be the player of a decade but not be a top 10 player? It doesn't make any sense. He's one of the 8 best players of all time based on him being a player of a decade because the league's only been around for 79 years. Again, this is LeBron James. This is LeBron James media. It doesn't even make any sense. In my next video, I'm going to play a clip from Dreamers Pro where you can hear Gilbert Arenas contradicting himself multiple times when it comes to Kobe and LeBron. But it's because their goal isn't to be factual, isn't to be truthful, any of that. Their goal is just to sway the minds of the younger generation coming up. That's their whole goal. They know you guys aren't going to fall for it. This is for the younger generation, so that when LeBron retires, they'll go off a narrative and not actual facts. But we see it doesn't make any sense for Kobe Bryant not to be top 10. Let's look at what Kobe Bryant did against the Spurs in 2001, and let's see what LeBron James did against the Spurs in 2007. Kobe Bryant's Western Conference stats against the Spurs 2001, 36 points a game, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, half a block, 48% from the field, 56.5 true shooting percentage. 35.8 points per game is the highest points per game on the road by a player in the conference playoffs of the 2000s decade. This is Kobe. Let's see what LeBron did in 07. Now, LeBron was abysmal. He shot 30-some% from the field, 20-some% from 3, 60-some% from the free throw line. Like, he was horrible against the Spurs. LeBron averaged 22 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, half a block, 35% from the field. Now, they got 2 different stats up here. Oh, my bad. So the first stats I read were Kobe's stats on the road. So those were on his on-the-road stats. Kobe's stats against the Spurs that series was 33.3 a game, 7 assists a game, 7 rebounds a game, 1.5 steals a game, 1 block a game, 51.4% from the field. So we see that Kobe dominated the Spurs. Pure domination. LeBron James played against the Spurs, and he couldn't do anything. He was horrible. And then they said, well, he was young and his team was sorry. His team wasn't bad. The role players showed up. He didn't show up. If you go watch that series, he didn't show up. The role players showed up. LeBron James didn't show up. See, they lied to you and tell you that they didn't know it was him. He was horrific against the Spurs. You know why? Because they let him shoot. The Spurs literally left LeBron James open for an entire series, and he shot 35.6% from the field. And he only averaged 22 points. If the Spurs left Kobe Bryant open for an entire series, he would average 50 points. He averaged this with defense on him. We're talking about man-to-man, talking about traps, we're talking about doubles. He did this getting guarded. Defense. So imagine what he would have did if they let him shoot jump shots all game long. If you go watch that series, they let LeBron shoot for 4 games straight, and he couldn't manage to get 1 win. So it's the case closed when it comes to LeBron. Case closed. So we know that Bleacher Report is full of BS because there's no way that Kobe could be a player of a decade and the league has been around 79 years, he not be top 10. It just doesn't make any sense. It's absolutely foolish. And then to say that Tim Duncan is just better than Kobe Bryant, based on what? Based on what? He goes there head to head. Kobe Bryant has beaten Tim Duncan 4 out of 6 playoff series. If you look at their stats, Kobe Bryant averaged more points, Tim Duncan averaged more rebounds, but position-wise, 6 rebounds for a shooting guard is good. That's equivalent to 12 rebounds for Tim Duncan. He's getting 6 from the perimeter. He's not by the rim. So 6 assists for Kobe Bryant is equivalent to Tim Duncan's 12. Kobe Bryant's averaged more points, contextually, the same amount of rebounds, assists, Kobe 5, Tim Duncan 4. Kobe Bryant leads him in assists, leads him in steals, and Tim Duncan clears him in blocks. But my point is, if you look at these statistics, if you look at them, how is Tim Duncan better than Kobe Bryant? How? I don't think he is. Head to head, Kobe dominated. And we base these on these stats contextually. How was Tim Duncan better? Based on position. Who's better at their position? Kobe Bryant at shooting guard or Tim Duncan at power forward? That's the question. And to me, it's Kobe Bryant. It's not Tim Duncan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know y'all don't like to hear that. And it's just this narrative that Tim Duncan's better. I'm like, based on what? What are we basing it on? Kobe Bryant dominated the Spurs. Total domination. This one player breaks it down all the way. He says, Kobe Bryant, more playoff career wins. He says, let's do a deep dive. Both have the same field goal percentage, despite Kobe having almost 5 more shots per game. Think about that. Kobe shot more. They got the same shooting percentage, and Kobe had different shot selection. He has more variety of shots. Duncan shot significantly more free throws per game than Kobe. And Kobe averaged more points. Duncan has a huge rebounding advantage. We talked about that, but not really. Contextually, he doesn't. Kobe Bryant's 6 rebounds is great for a shooting guard. Assists are pretty even. Kobe leads him in assists. Kobe had more steals. Duncan had more blocks in line with their position. Kobe had fewer turnovers and fouls. Based on these statistics, it's hard to make an argument for either player being definitely better than the other. So if it's hard to determine that, then what do you go to? If you can't base it off of the stats, you have to go to their head-to-head matchups, and Kobe won 4-2. But to just make it a foregone conclusion that Tim Duncan is better than Kobe is just cap. He's not. I would argue that Kobe Bryant is better based on what we have. All we have is the stats of them going at each other. And to me, Kobe Bryant, okay, they're going to say that Jordan is a better shooting guard than Kobe Bryant. So that puts him second among shooting guards. They're going to say that Tim Duncan is a better power forward than all the other power forwards. I'm going to argue that, to me, if you make Tim Duncan a center one year, then make him a forward one year, then you can't know. What is he? Is he a center or is he a power forward? If he's a center, then you know he can't be number one. So it makes sense to put him at power forward so that he has a chance to be number one. But that may be their only measuring stick, is that Kobe is the second best all-time 2 guard and Tim Duncan is the best power forward. That's going to be the only argument. But head-to-head, Tim Duncan wasn't better. And to me, head-to-head their position, Kobe was more dominant than Tim Duncan. But this Kobe slander is all because of LeBron James and his fragile ego, his narcissism, and his weak, scripted legacy.